What's up, everybody? It's Nicole Dice again with Avelion Studios, and we're back again with another video. This week's topic is how to be the perfect artist. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no such thing as perfection. Don't worry, we're going to go over that, and I'm going to kind of break down these 6 steps that good artists make as a habit and how to be a better artist, how to better yourself and become a good artist. So again, this is 6 steps. You want to hang on for the whole video to hear everything because you got to use all these steps in order to be a better artist. You can't just use 1 or 2. It's kind of a combination of all of these habits that will make you better. Now, to start off, let's talk about how there is no perfection in art. So I think as an artist, generally, people tend to hold themselves to really high standards, to self-criticize a lot, and that is the first problem in bettering yourself as an artist. You must embrace the idea that there is no such thing as perfection, and let that kind of segue yourself into accepting failure, accepting that not every piece is going to turn out the way you want, and this kind of gives you more room to experiment and to be brave. So if you're not expecting perfect results, then you're more open to learning and you're more open to improvement, and you're going to be able to look back at your pieces and think, okay, so how did this go wrong? Where did I use a wrong step? How could I improve? And the first step is to admit that there is no perfection and that you will not be perfect and that we all make mistakes, and that's okay. It's part of the process. And once you really understand that, then sketching and practicing and criticism becomes so much easier for you to handle and becomes a positive part of your art journey. Now, the step 2 to becoming a better artist would be daily practice. This is so important. So I see people all the time comparing themselves to other artists, saying, oh, they're so much better than me. I'm never going to be like that. Well, don't worry about that person, first off, because you're the only person who can be you, and they're the only person that can be them. Secondly, without you putting in the hours and the effort of daily practice and exercise, you're not going to improve at the rate you want. So if you really want to be a good artist, like you can taste it, you really want to be a professional artist, you want to get into art school, you want to get that job, daily sketching and practice is key. I have daily exercises that I do in my sketchbook, and they help me improve, and I tend to target things that I know I'm not good at drawing. So last week's topic was feet. The week before that, maybe I'm drawing 3/4 views, maybe I'm drawing back views, maybe I'm drawing organic materials and still life. It just depends on what I feel I need to work at or what I've heard people say I need to work on. So you want to be practicing your sketches every single day, at least an hour. Set aside that time for yourself to sketch, and maybe you're new to it and you want to kind of break yourself into that habit. Pick just some easy things just to get the creativity flowing, just some doodles, just so you get into the habit of it. And you'll see yourself improving so quickly as you fill up those sketchbooks. And again, it's not about the quantity of sketching, it's about just you setting aside time to work on your sketches every day. So if that means you're doing 1 sketch or a little doodle a day, or if you're doing 10, maybe you're really quick. It depends on the artist, and it depends on your personal style and your personal habits and all those things. So a daily practice is so important. Now, the third piece of advice I can give any artist is to work on your anatomy. And not just from photo reference, to also sketch from life as much as you can. So not everyone has the resources to join a life drawing class or anatomy classes. They're both really important, especially if you're going to be drawing the human figure. I recommend taking them if you have any opportunity. If you don't, I do recommend either going to the library and picking up some anatomy books or purchasing some online, and also trying to sketch from life as much as you can. So if you're on the subway, you want to sketch other commuters, you want to sketch your siblings, your parents, your schoolmates, anything you can to get looking at people in motion, looking at real bodies in real life, because it's harder for your eye to translate a 3D form into 2D while you're drawing than to look at photo reference. So photo reference is kind of like a quick tool that professional artists can use to make sure that their art looks good, but the more you sketch from life, it's going to make you a stronger artist. I can't emphasize this point enough. It is so important. And I feel like once you get into the rhythm of it, it's really fun to start drawing people and animals and things from life. And it'll really improve your proportion and your perspective and how you can draw and how quickly you can draw as well. Now, this kind of is going to segue into my next point. Our fourth tip I have for people who want to get better at art: throw out your eraser. So I think people misuse the eraser as a tool. I use the eraser to clean up sketches, to add in highlights on graphite sketches, and as a tool to kind of smooth out and perfect things. But I see my students doing this all the time. They'll draw a sketch out and they erase the whole thing. I hate that. Don't erase your work. Just don't do it. You're getting rid of all your process. You have nothing to work from if you erase everything. Put that eraser down. Put it away. Finish your sketches. Draw lightly. Don't commit to a line. Just start with a light sketch and slowly make it darker. And if you don't like the way your sketch turns out, flip the page and start a new one. Don't erase your work. Don't tear your work out of your sketchbook. Oh my gosh, I see kids doing this all the time. Don't throw out your progress. It is important for you to track your improvement and to see the mistakes that you've been making so you can see the areas that you need to improve. If you go to your teacher for help and you have nothing to show us, we can't help you. But if you're showing progress, you're asking for criticism with progress, then someone can help you. But if you have nothing on the paper, no one can help you. And I absolutely hate this. Throw out your eraser. You'll become a more confident artist and you'll get better at sketching if you're not relying on your eraser all the time. My fifth point, and this is kind of feeding off the last one, is learn how to take criticism positively. And know that your art teacher isn't necessarily there to rip you down. People aren't trying to make you feel bad. A lot of times, those people that can be really harsh are going to be telling you the truth. So if someone's like, hey, your hands look whack, maybe you need to practice hands. Now, it is important to tell the difference between someone who's bullying you or being nasty or hateful and an actual criticism. So learn how to identify positive criticism. So someone who's in a position where they're trying to help or you're asking for criticism and they're giving you their opinion, and then learn how to take that in a positive way. So never take that negatively and think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm a bad artist, I'll never be good. Bury those feelings, as it's just your insecurities talking. So as sooner you can kind of associate criticism with positivity, the better. And then another thing I also noticed is the better you get at art and the more attention you get for it, you're also going to find a lot of people who are going to say mean things to make you feel bad because they're jealous. So you have to be aware of those people and tell the difference. So I think for me, the only people I really would accept criticism from are colleagues of mine, other artists who are trained, other art professionals, so people who know what they're talking about or are educated in that topic so that they can give you criticism. I also take criticism from my subscribers and my followers on Instagram. So obviously pieces that look better, they get more likes, they get more attention, so you can kind of start to see what people like based off those things, and it's very useful. And my sixth and final point is something that people kind of have a hard time understanding and something that I feel is talked about a lot on the internet, and it's this idea that an artist is just born with all this talent and ability to draw. This isn't true. You're not born with the ability to draw, just like you're not born with the ability to do mathematical equations. You have to learn those things, but there's this fantastic quote, and I'll read it for you now. Talent is a pursued interest. In other words, anything that you're willing to practice, you can do. Now, that's from Bob Ross. He's a smart guy, so I take a lot of life lessons from him because he seems to really get it. But basically, if you're willing to put the efforts and the time into your art, then you can do it. So if you do not practice and put effort, you won't improve. And anything that you're willing to try, you can achieve. And this is true. So the difference between, I guess, a natural born artist and someone who isn't is simply the interest and the ambition to go out and do the work. People are not born knowing how to draw. Artists are made, they're not born. So you can learn how to draw as long as you put enough effort and time in. And this is what I tell all my students when they're feeling discouraged. There's always a way that you can achieve your goals as long as you're determined enough. And that's a really nice way to think of things, is that it's kind of an equal playing ground and everyone can learn. And that's how I approach my classrooms, and that's how I approach my own life, just thinking that if I put the effort, that I can do it, and keep that positive mindset. As always, if you guys like my videos, you can go ahead and subscribe and make sure to hit the notifications. If you'd like to hear about any other topics, then please go ahead and let me know in the comments what you'd like to learn about in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.